So we still want to get that large area coming up on the front of the hair. So let's start to select some of those faces that we can use to kind of extrude that up. And I want to have kind of a part there. You can see that sort of edge right in there. So we'll select that just on this side and begin to kind of extrude that up. So let's go ahead and select this. Let's kind of select this whole grouping here. So basically the top part of that kind of square shape that you see, we can kind of use that. And let's actually come over to the side a little bit more as well. Get a little bit more in there. So something like that. All right, let's go ahead now and extrude that up. We'll kind of extrude that up and we can kind of scale it. Maybe kind of rotate it a little bit. Oops, we still have our reflection on, so we'll go ahead and turn that off. And then as we come through here, we'll start to shape this a little bit more. So we can start to decide, okay, this is going to be that bit that's going to come up and over. So we'll kind of move this over a little bit and create that sort of part type of an effect there. Do the same thing here with these points. And just kind of get the topology to kind of flow in that direction, which is kind of up and over to the left if we're looking at our character head on. Okay, so just kind of moving things over to that side. And you can use the soft select. You won't get as much control. But if you need to just move everything over just a little bit, that's a good way to do it. Okay, for instance, here, if I just want to kind of shift everything over, I could use that soft select and kind of move everything over to the side. Use a bigger fall off radius. Kind of move that bit over. If I want to affect not quite as much, I'll go ahead and decrease that fall off radius. Okay, so we end up getting something along those lines. We can kind of pull that up a bit and out. Now we need to start getting some, not individual strands, but kind of clumps coming off of the hair. And so let's get this up a little bit more before we do that. Kind of bring it forward a little bit. Bring that up to the front a little bit. Bring that on the side, kind of back and down. So we get this sort of bouffant kind of a looking thing. And then we can come in and extrude off those bits. So the idea is you have most of it as a large sort of clump, and then here you can start to extrude off smaller bits. So kind of extrude this up, scale it down a little bit, move it over a little bit. Okay, we'll also kind of rotate it. And then we'll do the same thing, kind of extrude that off again until we get down to kind of a smaller bit or a smaller clump. Okay. And then you can go in and actually shape it, because right now it's not quite so sharp. It actually is not too bad when you smooth it. We can come in here and manipulate it a little bit, but you can see that gives us a little bit more of that sharp look. And we can take this here, pull it down a little bit. You can see we almost get an indication of another one there. Okay. Now as we come in here, we need to kind of emphasize that line there, so we can start to move this over a little bit and then maybe insert an edge loop right in here You can see it kind of tightens it up, gives it that little bit of detail there. We can start to bring some of these lines in a little to give us more of a, along the hairline, an indication of those separate kind of clumps. Okay, same thing here. And then inserting edge loops will kind of help you to sharpen those up. So maybe coming in here and something like that. Okay, and get something like that. We can kind of pull this side up here if we want to. Okay, then we just need to do the same thing over here on this side. So looking at this, we can come in here and maybe on this side here start to extrude out some hair. We'll kind of pull it off to the side here. Probably want to go ahead and blend that back down into the hair on the side, which is it's fairly easy to do. You can just come in here and drag those points down. Drag these points in. Kind of smooth everything out a little bit. Same thing back here, kind of along this part. Okay, and then we can kind of bring these over and up to kind of emphasize that difference there. And now it's just a matter of kind of manipulating these points around. You could add another little spike behind this. You can see we've got another one, little one back here. You can see we get that sort of hair indication there, and adding those extra edges helps kind of define those clumps. So if you're building your hair with geometry, which is a good way to do it when you're just starting out, you can do it that way. You can also, again, come in here, smooth everything out. Or you can, use the Sculpt Geometry tool to actually sculpt it out rather than smooth it, but actually pull it out. You could use it that way too. Kind of smooth out the side here. Alright, so just spend a little time shaping the hair with your geometry, extruding out the little bits like that. Don't go too crazy with the little strands though. If you want to do maybe a couple just coming off on the front of the hair, you can do that to kind of break things up a little bit. To sharpen up the kind of sideburns, you can go ahead and add maybe another edge loop in there and make those a little bit sharper, do a little bit more shaping. So once we've got the hair done, the next thing that I want to do is create a little bit of an undershirt and then build a tie for him and some buttons, and then we'll look at finishing this guy up. So we'll go ahead and keep going on that in the next lesson.